Okay, IED, for the problem that we're solving in this project, we have four different steps that we're going to take. And the way that I'm going to actually grade this out is I'm going to grade this based on these four steps. So whenever you see this in the grade book, it's going to say initiate and then plan and then execute and then close. And we're going to worry about the initiate in this video. Last time we talked about the general idea of like all of them put together. Now we're going to focus specifically on initiating the project and seeing, exactly what I want. And this is the first time that a lot of you guys have actually done any kind of project involving, a whole lot of detail. So it would help to kind of go through the general idea of how to do a large project with a fairly substantial group of people. So let's see here. The first thing that we need to do is it says number one, attend the kickoff meeting facilitated by the project director to review the project charter. And the project charter is a document that gives the reason for the project and defines the project scope, objectives, and constraints. Now, all behavioral stuff aside, because last time in the project charter, I told you guys how we're actually supposed to, behave, and you guys can figure out how you want to treat each other during this team process. But from there, you've got to talk about like what is the reason for the project, and then you're going to define the scope. And what the scope means is you're going to try to find out, okay, what do I need to do? What steps are we going to need to do in order to be able to make this project actually happen? So you're not actually doing those things, you're just talking about what are those things that I need to do in order for this to happen. So you're basically making steps or milestones, and you're all going to agree on those milestones. Okay. So in your engineering notebook, make sure that you take notes during this meeting. And pay particular attention to the design constraints, especially in regards to the sizes of the individual bakery treats as specified in the baked goods dimension guide. So if you don't remember them from the meeting, or if you're just terrible at taking notes, the guide is actually linked here so that you can have the dimensions available to you whenever you want to. So here's the general idea. The paper liners will be in this size like so, and it gives you the diameter, 2 5/8 of an inch, 1 7/8 of an inch, and then 1 1/4. And then I think down here, yeah, we also have the maximum width of the actual pastry tart. Okay, so the muffin jumbo liner should be over here, should be this guy. The pastry tart should be this little guy over here, and the standard cupcake is right here. So this is a mistake. The jumbo muffin should be having a maximum width of 4.15 inches and a maximum center height of 3.5 inches. It's the tallest one of all, and it's pretty large. I have some 3D printed examples of these for you guys to use as real life examples. So pay attention to these dimensions, because your ability to fit these things inside the container is going to be dependent on these particular dimensions. Let's take a look back and see what else we have. Review the learning goals identified in the goals section at the top of the problem. So identify how you will demonstrate achievement of each of the learning goals through solving this problem. So whenever you look back up there, it tells you like how are you going to use CAD, how are you going to communicate effectively. Talk about in your notebook about how you're going to show me, how you're going to demonstrate achievement for each one of those goals, because I have to have evidence that you guys did every single one of those. So you're going to need to try to provide me evidence that you actually did that. And then the last thing they want to do is review this 1.4.1 suite improvement checklist and rubric, and ask me if there are anything that's unclear about these projects or the expectations. So you need to make sure that if you're confused about something, to totally ask me a question, and I will totally tell you what I expect from you guys, even if it's a very specific question and I have to figure it out myself. Hopefully my potato will actually load this up. If not, I can actually just click on the document at the top. So we'll see. I'll give it a couple more seconds and we'll see what happens. All right, I'm clicking. My patience is rather limited. I'm going to click here and let's see what happens. Load this up. Okay, let's see here. So we can review what it says on the checklist as well too. So notice that it's going to be graded based on initiate, plan, execute, and close. So on the first one, we'll definitely need to have an approved project charter, and then we'll need to plan. We'll worry about that one later. I think we're really just worried about the initiate one in this case. So this checklist is for the entire thing. Once you've reviewed those things, y'all are pretty good to go for the initiate section. And let's just kind of take a little bit more look down here. These are all of the learning objectives and goals, and you're more than welcome to look through them if you want to. But something tells me y'all are going to leave that up to me. So I'm going to just go ahead and go back out here. Let's check and make sure that we got everything for the initiate, and I think we're good to go. Get started and then ask your teacher questions. All right, we covered everything on the initiate section. Next video segment, we'll talk about the plan section. Y'all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.